I'm gonna let you have it in the session.
Okay.
People think therapy is all nice. And, oh my gosh, how are you feeling today? I'm like, so did you break up with him or not? You have a week to break up with him. I need that text message written down. But I always say, or therapists always say, when you bring a child to therapy, as a parent, it's usually the parent that needs therapy. It's usually the parent's trauma that makes the child act up and bring them to therapy. Okay. So a lot of my young adults or minors are in therapy because their parents are crazy. White people get help and black people don't. Black people don't seek help. I don't know why, but at an alarming rate, white Americans will seek therapy. Aside from that, they will seek help. They will seek tutoring. They will seek after school care for their kids to go and do all these kinds of things. And Caribbean Americans, their kids are just going home after school and doing nothing. The word that describes me is light, because light takes up dark spaces. And I think that that's just what I've been put on earth to do, just to take up space and to bring light to dark spaces.
Rebecca Joseph, a proud alumna of North Miami Senior High School, is rewriting the rules on mental health. She believes people know exactly what they're doing, that toxicity feels like safety to the brain, and that most parents need therapy more than their kids do. From surviving heartbreak to opening her own practice, Rebecca is on a mission to make Black and brown communities stop hiding and start healing. This is her story.
Do you believe that there's a group of people who enjoy being in a toxic relationship?
Absolutely.
What contributes to that, or what would be one of the leading causes for that?
So previous trauma, for sure. Obviously, if you're introduced to trauma, then if it becomes your regular pattern, then that's what your brain will seek as safety.
Do you think society will ever reach a point where divorce rates will eventually drop?
No.
Or it's only going to go higher?
I think that it will only go higher.
Welcome back to another episode of Jules Legacy Enterprise Productions, where story connects generations. A conversation with the pioneers, a segment that celebrates the life and journey of North Miami Senior High School pioneers by bridging the past and the present to inspire the future. Behind every name, there is a story. Rebecca Joseph, born in Miami, an alumna from class of 06 from North Miami Senior High School, who holds a bachelor's degree in psychology from Florida International University, holds a master's degree from Nova University. She's an author of 3 books, Smear Lipstick. It is with great pleasure to actually have her here in the studio, someone who is also looking to open up her own practice as a therapist. Rebecca, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Rebecca, to start off, based on your experience, do you think that people generally are aware of their behavior and the things that they do?
For the most part, yes. I always say that people are doing exactly what they want to do or want to be doing. People who say that, oh, I didn't know, I didn't realize, and I don't 100% believe that.
Okay. Why psychology?
It just kind of fell into my lap, really.
Okay.
I've always, the truth is, I went to Turner Tech.
Okay.
But I honestly really went to North Miami as well.
Of course.
So I graduated from Turner Tech, but I danced for the J Dancers in the band for all 4 years of high school.
Yes.
So everybody thinks that I actually graduated from North Miami.
Right.
And I just claim it. I'm a swamp dog, period.
Right.
And then I only applied to one college, and it was FIU. I got in. I went into psychology. I got my master's in counseling, and I've never thought about any other line of work ever. It's always been that.
All right, you got your bachelor's from FIU. Then what made you go for your master's?
Because I knew that to become a therapist, you have to at least have a master's degree. They won't hire you if you're just, they'll hire you as a master's level therapist, but then you have to become an intern to be licensed. And I knew I wanted to own my own practice, so I had to go back to school.
And what academy were you in at Turner Tech?
Ooh. I was in public service, criminal justice, the criminal justice side. And that was just because my sister was. She was like the first class that graduated from Turner Tech, like class of 96, I think.
Yeah.
And I just did it. My dad put me in it and kept it moving. I actually thought I was going to North Miami, and he like brought us home and was like, by the way, you guys are not going to North Miami. Wow. So my sister did her 9th grade year, and then when I got to 9th grade, he switched both of us to Turner Tech. Okay. So I lost all my good friends.
Do you, in your practice, do you specify specifically on, do you have a category you specify on, for example, like is it mental health, is it relationships, is it, Do you specify in something specifically?
I like to say trauma-based care.
Okay.
Because I did 8.5 years with DCF first, so I kind of pivoted, right? So I thought that I knew what I was doing, and then finished my master's, and then I heard about the 1,500 hours that you need to have to be licensed.
Okay.
And that scared me into not pursuing psychology. So
Okay.
I went to DCF for 8.5 years. I was a case manager for 6.5 years, and then I licensed foster homes for another 2.5 years, and then trained case managers for another 1.5 years. And then God was like, are you ready to go back to what we were supposed to be doing? You're done
Right.
wasting time or whatever you think you're doing. And sure enough, after 12 years, I had to start those 1,500 hours.
Wow. Why do you believe people stay in relationships for so long, even
When it's already going bad?
not only going back, even when it's hurting them?
Because people would rather keep up whatever the images that they have with that relationship than to choose themselves. So people have a hard time choosing themselves, I think.
Do you have cases like that you personally see?
Absolutely. All I do is deal with, and back to your original question, therapy, mental health, abuse, relational abuse. I deal with a lot of trauma, children and adults who self-harm, who suffer from depression and things like that.
Okay.
And I think that, especially with Black and Caribbean cultures, and women are not raised to choose themselves. We're raised to choose a bigger, you know how people say the program?
Yeah.
Like we're raised to choose the program over ourselves. Like if you go to church, c'est l'église, you're a Christian, you have to choose the church, you have to choose directing the choir and doing ministry, and you choose that over a pastor who may be molesting a child at the church, or
Okay.
a husband who's cheating on his wife and they're ministers at the church. You choose the church and the image over, let me leave this man, let me leave this relationship, or let me tell someone about what's going on with me. And people choose abuse over choosing themselves.
So for all the women that's out there, how do you tell a woman to choose herself? What strategies should she use to actually get to that point?
I would say not that you can trust your feelings, because your feelings are valid. That doesn't mean that they are the truth. So I tell people to tell themselves the truth, as opposed to what is like going on around them. Like, what is facts? Like, does this person treat you well? Yes or no? Do you feel good around this person? Yes or no? Would you tell your younger self to choose this person? That's one that usually gets people. Like, if it was your brother or
Okay.
your sister coming to ask you for advice, what would you tell them?
Right.
If you're not listening to what you would tell your sibling or younger brother, younger sister, then you're probably not choosing yourself. And that's how they know.
And do you think therapy is actually making people stronger? from your
I
experience?
do. I actually have a client who had me crying a couple weeks ago. She's a 49-year-old woman who just told her husband that she wants a divorce. And I've been seeing her for 3 years. And she was like, if you ever think about if you are changing people's lives, always remember me. Because I would not have been able to tell him that I needed this divorce if I didn't meet you, if I didn't go through therapy.
I'm glad you brought up this point, because I'm urged to ask you, what drive people to your office? You're sitting there as a therapist. From what you've seen, at what point or what drive these individuals to say, hey, I need to see someone?
So for minors, for children under 18, it's their parents. But I always say, or therapists always say, when you bring a child to therapy, as a parent, it's usually the parent that needs therapy. That's just like a running joke. We know that it's the parent. It's usually the parent's trauma that makes the child act up and bring them to therapy.
Okay.
So a lot of my young adults or minors are in therapy because their parents are crazy, are full-blown narcissists, Haitian, Black Americans who don't have any emotional intelligence. My adults come because I'm Black. They come because I'm female. Mm-hmm. Some of them come because I'm Christian. Mm-hmm. And then they stay because I'm real. Like, I'm gonna let you have it in a session.
Okay.
People think therapy is all nice and, oh my gosh, how are you feeling today? I'm like, so did you break up with him or not? You have a week to break up with him. I need that text message written down for your homework. That's your homework for therapy.
But
like, hey. Today, pull out your phone right now and tell him that you need to have a conversation with him tonight. And they come back and they're like, man, I hate you, man. One of our clients tells me, I hate you, man. You always pushing me. And every week she's back. Every 2 weeks they're back. Because they need someone to push them outside of themselves.
Okay, let's wheel that back in, right? Let's reel back. Okay, so now we have two things I want to revisit, right? One is that the lady after 3 years of seeing her, she said, "Hey, I want to get a divorce." So she finally told her husband. And to go back on the statement you just said, at what point, if these individuals come in your office within a week, you tell them, "Hey, you need to do this," what pushes you or what makes you believe that that's what they need?
So it's not in the first session. So the first session, I get to know them. I let them tell me what they think I need to hear.
Okay.
And I write. I have my notebook like how they do on TV. I am writing. So I will put, this and that, wants to get divorced, not happy with husband, has 2 children, wants to wait till children are 18 years old. Children are 14 and 13. How's that going to work? So I pin it.
Right.
Put a star next to it. I always tell my clients, I am a reflection and a mirror of you back to you. If you lie to me, then I can't help you. When you tell me the truth, then I can tell you the truth back with a couple of letters behind my name.
Okay.
LMHC, that's what makes me professional because I went to school for it. But if you come in lying, then I'm gonna be looking at you, you're gonna be looking at me. If you wanna stay, you're gonna stay. So where are we with that? So it takes a couple of sessions, but what drives people to therapy is that you're talking to a stranger. I think that people are scared to talk to a stranger because everybody's like, I don't want to talk to a stranger about my life. Like, what are they going to tell me? You would be surprised how healing it is to talk to a stranger.
Of course.
Because you get to go home. Of
course.
Can I speak Creole?
Yes, you can.
You go to your house, I don't go home with you.
Of course.
So you talk to me, you spill for an hour, and then you go home and you reflect on what I say. But all of my clients are like, I thought about what you said the other day. Oh, did you? What did I say?
Okay.
You said that, and I'm like, oh, okay. So what did you do? You'll be proud of me because I did exactly. Oh, okay. So they like that someone that's not in their everyday life is there to be like, so did you apply for the school? Didn't you say you wanted to do graduate school? So when is the application due? April 15th. When did you do the application? When is the application due? Are you going to do it tonight? Oh, your homework is to do it tonight. I need the application done, and I need you to show me that it's confirmed in an email in your next session.
Would that be would it be more like a life coach, or would that be like?
No, I'm just giving you guys more generic things. I don't want to get into the people who are cutting themselves and self-harming and depression and suicidal. I have clients who are on suicide watch, and they have to text me if they feel like harming themselves or cutting themselves. I've had people lift up their arm, and it's cut down to here, and I'm like, so how did this happen? Well, I got into an argument with my mom, and she pissed me off. She said she can't pay for my prom, and I already thought I was going, and then now they're cutting down their leg, and they're wearing sweaters in 90-degree weather.
Now, you mentioned how some females probably need a divorce from their husbands. Now, this is my question, though.
There are people in happy marriages, guys.
No, okay. But this is my question,
are
though.
in love.
How do you deal with someone that you know that they're the problem? Have you ever had a client that come inside and say, listen, you listen to her speak, and she's the problem? Like,
absolutely.
So what do you do? Do you ever bring in the husband?
Yes, I have brought in husbands and boyfriends before.
Okay, so
and I will admit that they are the problem, but I let them know, like, when we get into the session, just know that you're not right. Like, you're wrong. You're absolutely 100% wrong. So if you want to bring him in to talk about how wrong you are, just know that will be his ammunition for when y'all leave me.
Okay.
So it's at your own risk to bring in your spouse. Usually this man thinks that we're in cahoots because we're women. And then I've had men be like, I like her. She's nice. Because he was the one that was right. And he was scared to come in thinking that he would be the one that was wrong because I'm a female. So I tell people like it is. Like, oh, yeah, you're dead wrong. You need to apologize to your husband. I tell people you need to have sex with your husband. When's the last time you had sex? Why are you not having sex with your husband?
That's a whole nother topic.
No, seriously, I've had people, that's what I want you to do. I want you to touch your husband every time you pass by him. What do you mean? Just touch your husband every time you pass by him in the house. Just touch him. And she came back after weeks and was like, we ended up having sex. And he was like, oh my gosh, where's this coming from? And I told him it was my therapist. But it's just like, why are y'all passing each other in the house if you know by in? Like, why are you not, if you got a bald head, I'm touching your head or rubbing your back or, hey, babe, good morning. You're mean. You're rude to your husband. And it's emotionally abusive. Is it? Yes, it is. So if you make that coffee for him every morning, you need to make that coffee. If you fâché and we're mad and now you wake up, you don't make the coffee. Now you never. No, wake up and make the coffee for your husband because that's what you want to do as a wife. So you want to be a good wife or you want to, what we doing? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I like you.
I give it to them all the time. They love it. People who come to therapy really love it.
Have you ever had to give a man, let's say he's not your, let's say they brought him in, let's say you have a couple who came in, you realize the woman selected you, and then you realize she's the problem. And then you realize some of the stuff that she either told you private, then she's definitely the problem. And you meet the guy, he's the opposite of whatever she said, right? Had you ever had to tell that man privately or off record, hey, listen, you need to leave?
Oh no, that's not off the record. Everything in therapy is on the record with Rebecca Joseph. I don't know about other therapists.
Yes.
But when you bring your spouse, because anyone can bring a spouse, a sibling, a mother, a father to a session. Once you're in the session, your HIPAA, your privacy rights, you're waiving those rights. So if you was wrong last week when I talked to you last Thursday, you're gonna be wrong in front of him today when we get into the session with him.
Of course.
That's it. Well, I told your wife last week that she's emotionally abusive and, I need her to change. And they're like, oh yeah, you told her that? I've been telling her that. Well, now we have that on record.
Have you saved any marriages?
I have.
Walk us through one of them.
An emotional cheating husband. He was flirting with women on games and little apps and things, and girls were like heart eyes and asking him to meet up. Wife came in to challenge her husband and his cheating. And crazy thing is, they ended up becoming swingers for a short period of time. So they let each other cheat, which was not my recommendation. They chose that on their own. But after a year of therapy, they let each other cheat. And then she said they cheated with people in their neighborhood. And once he finally cheated, she was like, oh, okay. She stopped checking his phone. She stopped checking the app. He took everything off his phone. And maybe we did another 6 months, and they were like coming into the session together, holding hands. She's rubbing his, leg. And I'm like, y'all seem different. And they're like, oh yeah, I trust him now. And I'm like, oh, okay, thank you for everything. And I discharged them, happily married to this day.
So how did they get to that point? That's the question. So they came to see you, right? But how did they get to the point of, okay, we're gonna swing?
She had to let go of the fear. The fear was that he was going to cheat. But even in the flirting, he was never telling anyone that he was going to meet with them or anything. She just didn't like the fact that, as a woman, why are you letting someone from China or from Canada or whatever on these apps tell you that they want to meet with you? He just liked the fantasy. So the original idea was that she would become the fantasy for him. And they did that. They explored. She did the outfits. I've had, clients had to buy lingerie and do all the things. Listen, I'm trying to save marriages. And he stopped for a while. And then he got caught up again, maybe 7 or 8 months into us seeing the both of them. And she was like, he's back doing it. I've tried everything. We did all that you told us to do. And then once she had to get over the idea that she was just more scared than anything, she just let him cheat. I don't condone it, but
what's causing all these divorces and separations?
I think people are unwell. I think men and women are unwell. Unfortunately, respectfully, men are not doing well emotionally. I don't think that men are well, honestly.
Could you explain that?
I think that because in Black and brown communities, women are taught to be upstanding wives and partners. So I can only speak for Haitians, but I know Haitians and Latinx communities where we're taught to have to cook for your husband, wash his clothes, don't let anybody cook for him outside of the house, you have to have food prepared for him, those kinds of things. So we're raised to be very domestic, whereas Haitian men or particular Black American men are taught to make money, go to work, care for a spouse, I guess. Parents are washing their clothes, or moms are washing their clothes until they're 32, 33 years old, living with their parents. They're not buying homes. Where women are like going to church every Wednesday, going to church every Sunday. We have to go get degrees. We have to finish college. And men can like dilly-dally, play football for college, drop out of school, go back home, rap for another 2 years. Then they want to do real estate. Then they want to do taxes. And women are like, we're on track. So I feel like we're just so much ahead because the Black community is always pushing women to be domestic, and men are just
Now I have one question. From all the couples that you spoke to, would you ever advise that a woman should actually stay home or be a stay-at-home wife in this generation?
Oh, absolutely. I would love for more women to be stay-at-home mothers.
Rather than working?
Yes, rather than working.
But does it contradict everything you just said? As far as
just a little bit. That's what I'm saying.
Well, no, I'm not saying. I'm saying that that's how we were raised. I'm not saying that that's what we deserve.
Okay.
So if you can work as a man and provide, sure, but that does not take away from your emotional intelligence and your emotional regulation. Like, you still have to know how to talk to your wife when she gets home. You still have to understand that she goes through things just because she's at home all day. So being a stay-at-home mother doesn't mean that your life is easy, or a stay-at-home wife doesn't mean that your life is easy. But I make your life easier as a spouse. So you need to come home and listen to me and date me and take me out and, love on me the way that I need to be loved. So both still need to be there, money and finances and emotional intelligence.
Do you believe that there's a group of people who enjoy being in a toxic relationship?
Absolutely.
Why is that? You think it's that what contributes to that, or what would be one of the leading causes for that?
So previous trauma, for sure. Obviously, if you're introduced to trauma, then if it becomes your regular pattern, then that's what your brain will seek as safety. Mm-hmm. So change is hard for people because your brain, and I don't want to be all psychological, right?
Please do.
So your brain, your amygdala, is always trying to maintain safety. And your amygdala is what holds and remembers all of your trauma. So if your elementary school teacher told you that you're stupid, you're never going to be anything, you're a piece of trash, and she wore Baccarat Rouge. Mm-hmm. So every time you smell Baccarat Rouge, you're like...
It triggers that?
Yes, because your brain remembers everything around the trauma. The fan that was in your house when your mom and your dad were arguing, or whatever loud noises and arguments. So now loud noises or fans or different things just make you feel like it remembers all of that. Mm-hmm. And all your brain wants to do is find safety. So if safety feels like arguing, then I'll stay. At least I know he loves me. That's what my brain is thinking. So it finds the safety in whatever it is. So people like to stay in toxic relationships because it feels safe and normal. So your brain's like, oh yeah, he's still mad. We're good. As long as he came home tonight, though. I don't love him, but at least he came home at 8:00. Like, I know he comes home. So that safety is better than, like, now I have to go live somewhere else. Now I might have to move. Now I have to go look for another job in Broward, date, whatever. That's your brain is like, no. You don't want to do that. That's going to cause too much disruption. We're safe. We're good. So let's stay. And then people stay.
So what advice you give to those patients?
Yeah, like, how do you change someone's perspective on safety or their safety?
It's really a choice. I think that I just challenge them on a consistent basis to make a better choice, not the safer choice or the more comfortable choice. So it's like pushing people to go outside of what they would normally do. So if it's like, I just want to argue because I just want to talk to him. Like, say I'm toxic and we're in a relationship and arguing is the only way we talk. Don't start the argument. But some people are like, I'm going to just text him something so he could come home mad so we can have a conversation. And when I outburst, I'm going to say what I really wanted to say.
Okay.
Why would you do that? Where I would say, well, write everything down, ask him to have a conversation, and then read everything to him, and then see if he'll listen. He's not going to listen. Well, you don't know that. Yes, I do. I know him. I've been married to him for 20-something years. Okay, well, are we going to try the new thing, or are you going to go back to what you know? And then if they try the new thing, they're like, well, we ended up talking for 3 hours, and he said he understands everything that I wrote down. Okay. So now your brain has new information. And more new information will change your amygdala to think of things differently. And now things that are toxic are thrown away, and normalcy is changed to a new behavior. So you literally have to do the work on a consistent basis to change your mind. Like, literally, scientifically, change your mind about something.
Do you think society will ever reach a point where divorce rates will eventually drop?
No.
Or it's only going to go higher?
I think that it will only go higher. I think that social media and our access to everyone. Remember, we were not supposed to have this much access to everyone all the time. Mm-hmm. It was call me on the house phone when I get home from school.
Correct.
If the line was busy, that means your daddy was on the phone or your mom was on the phone. You had to wait, or you had to do it the next day or talk the next day. We have too much access to one another, and that leaves people with too many options and too many ideas and too many, like, the idea that they have options is better than just sticking to one thing. I think that if we didn't have social media, I would just meet you and say, oh, you're such a handsome man. I would like your phone number. We would exchange numbers, And we would date and no one would know.
Right.
We wouldn't have to post it. We wouldn't have to follow each other. We wouldn't have to like each other's posts and heart eyes and check who he liked. And we would just like each other and that would be it. No outside sources. Now it's, well, he didn't post you and it's been 3 months and now you posting his hand and now his hand, now the woman on this page, I heard they have these new things now where they tell each other who their spouse is. Yes, the T app. Now this is George from such and such in Miramar, and there's like, oh yeah, that's my brother George. He has a baby mama, and it's like, you would have never known George had a baby mama if you would have just met George at the club.
The reason I'm asking, Rebecca, is then if you assume or we could predict the way divorce rates and relationship is the way they are going, it's only going to get worse. It's only going to go higher, and to go back and try to change that in society is going to take a miracle, right? Then how do we find a good partner?
I don't know. You tell me. I'm still looking. I don't know. I mean, I'm single myself. I've been single for some time. I don't know. I don't really like dating apps. I don't know.
But Rebecca, I have one personal question.
Sure.
With the emotional intelligence that you have,
Hey, you took the words out of my mouth because that's why I was leading to. That's why I was saucing it up together there, but you didn't want to let me get. Hey, listen. Then go ahead.
with the emotional intelligence that you have, do you think that's what make it difficult for you to actually find a spouse or a boyfriend or someone that you could actually love?
So it's not for me to find, right? It's for him to find me.
Okay. Because what the Bible says, right?
Right.
Okay.
So the idea of choice, right? Like I said, people have the illusion of choice. What I find for me personally is that people are attracted to me as a choice, but don't choose me.
Ooh.
That's just been the nature of it. I just feel like, I call myself like hood popular, right? Because, I sing and then I'm an author and whatever. I've had church, so I can go to many spaces. And I don't get numbers often. I don't know why. People think that, oh, she's so pretty. People don't come up to me and talk to me at all. Not in public. I don't get talked to in public at all. People don't ask me for my number, nothing. But they will come up to me and be like, smile, pretty girl. And I'm like, because I don't entertain for free. So people will want to have me and then cannot maintain me because whatever they're afraid of, they don't want to raise to that level to maintain it. But I don't think I'm hard to maintain.
You don't think it's because you've seen too much, know too much, or more self-aware now?
Yeah, for sure. But why would you want someone who isn't?
No, because do you think now the playing field is fair? For example, I'm a man, I walk into your life. You could basically read me from like.
It's not. So the idea is that I'm doing that all the time. Therapists are not doing that all the time. And the other part of that is I was like this since I was a kid. Prime example is what I tell people. My sister, who just turned 50, has a card from me, handwritten elementary school card that said, happy birthday, Cassie, whatever I put on the front. On the back, at like 8 years old, I put love is greater than everything. At 8 years old. And she sent it to me one time years ago. And I was like, you still have that? She was like, yeah. She was like, look what you put on the back of that. At 8 years old. Parents were probably already divorced or getting divorced at that time. I'm in elementary school, 4th grade, 3rd grade. Love is greater than everything. Where did that come from? God put that in me. That's just who I am. I'm a lover. Like people know that about me. I love and I love well and I love hard. That didn't happen because I was a therapist. I bring that to therapy. That's what makes me a good therapist. But I can go anywhere and be good at anything because I go to open mics alone every month. And I'm like, hey, and I'm hugging, kissing, I'm taking pictures and people are like, you go every month by yourself? I'm like, yeah, because I am the love. I have the love.
It's a very tough space.
So if you're intimidated by that, what am I to say to that? If I love well,
no, I understand that. I understand that. It's just more like now you know people's behaviors, you know how people think, and the guy comes in, he's love bombing, right? And he's going above and beyond. He just comes in, he's doing that, right? And now, 6 months in, now you start watching his behavior because you're a professional. So,
Oh, you know me. It's recently just.
so now it's Rebecca.
But that doesn't mean that I don't fall victim to those things.
I wanted to ask you that.
Because I love, I am a victim of love bombing. Because love bombers, the reason that people are love bombed is because they believe that people can fall in love with them that fast. So when a man says that he wants to marry me in 3 months, I'm like, of course you do.
Right.
But do you ever go against your emotional intelligence for love?
Absolutely.
That's what I wanted.
Be like, girl,
I wanted to ask you that.
what were you thinking?
So it happened before.
Absolutely.
We're all human then.
Yeah.
That just shows we are human. Okay.
Absolutely.
Smeared Lipstick was one of your first book that you wrote, and it covered more about awareness and brokenness, right? Then we have the volume 2, which talks about separation from brokenness.
Yes.
And then we have 3 that covers walking in progress. What led you to writing the very first book? And what was your thought process? What were you going through? And what did you want a reader to capture from it?
So the first book, poetry, I've never written poetry before this. So I don't know where the poetry came from.
Okay.
I always say that God just gave me the poems because I just started writing out of nowhere. I just started texting poems to myself. And then I had both books. So Smeared Lipstick 1 and 2 were written at the same time, within the span of a year. Right. My editor decided that we should split them into 2 volumes because this one was a little more healed than this one. She was a little more broken and she was a little more healed. So we took those broken poems and put them into this one. And then The Recovery of a Broken Heart came second because I was in a better space then. So I just started writing. And then I was like, I should put these in a book. And then I did.
How'd you come up with the title?
I love lipstick. And women who wear makeup, it's like a mask. And I say that women wear makeup and lipstick like a mask to cover up what they're actually experiencing. So smearing the lipstick was kind of like the idea that like I'm done faking. I'm done taking off, like I'm taking off the lipstick and I'm going to be 100% myself all the time.
Beauty from Ashes, Smeared Lipstick Volume 3. What about that one?
So that one came after my exodus is what I call it. So that one was highly anticipated because everybody knew that I had just got out of a situation.
Okay.
So those were just poems about healing, not getting what you thought that you had, loving myself, choosing myself first, those kinds of things.
Out of all those 3 books, which one would you say is your favorite or is that resonate with you the most? And which one would be do you have a favorite poem in there?
So yes. Oh, that's good.
Can you repeat the poem or no?
Yes.
No, so I don't memorize them.
Oh, you don't
crazy. Yeah, I do poetry, but I don't do spoken word. So I have a hard time memorizing my own poetry. But I can, if you want me to sing at a wedding next weekend, I can sing it. And I'll learn a song like that. But I've tried to learn my poems and it's just difficult. So number 3.
Oh, you have the poem in there?
I do. So this book is my favorite book because I think that's where I'm actively living in now, like the freedom to be myself. And so Joseph is, and it's funny because I'm walking myself right into this, but Joseph is my favorite poem because Joseph is my last name. Okay. And after getting divorced, you don't realize how long of a process it is to get your name back. True. Change your social security number, change my passport.
You changed your social security number?
Yes. I was in love, wasn't I?
What did your therapist tell you?
Right. And I actually had a therapist. She actually saved my life in this journey.
So you had a therapist when you...
Absolutely. I had a therapist for 3.5 years.
Even if you were a therapist?
Yeah. And she told me that I wouldn't be a good therapist until I was healed. And I'll never forget that she said that to me.
Agreed.
Yes. So I was seeing her prior to becoming a therapist, and she's not my mentor now. But even Progressive, my insurance company, wouldn't let me change my name back to Joseph without the driver's license. And then the driver's license company would not let me change my driver's license without the court order. And then I went to go get the court order, And then I went back to the DMV, and they were like, oh, this is a copy. We need the original. So I had to go back and get the original that had the seal on it, but it was COVID, so judges weren't doing that. So I had to go in, get it signed and sealed by the clerk, then go back to the DMV to get the driver's license for Progressive to even change my last name back.
Oh, wow.
And it was my policy. And I was like, I was born with this name. Like my birth certificate still says it. And they were like, nope, once you change it, it's going to be difficult to change it back.
You mind reading that poem for us?
So Joseph is my favorite poem because I don't think that I would, when I get married, I'm going to keep Joseph. And I'm the last girl, and we're all girls, so no one else will have Joseph if we all change our names.
Okay.
So, Joseph, I took you for granted from birth. I belonged to you. Yet I was constantly taught to do whatever it takes to get rid of you. Taking on someone else's identity was ultimately the goal in life, to become someone's wife, to accept their lineage and leave mine behind. Because we were spoon-fed, he who finds, trained to be needed and not wanted, finding men who knew this so they treat you like you were to be hunted. Come as you are is what we were told, believing that when God made you, he broke the mold until you were old enough to wash, clean, and fold. Putting a ring on your finger and putting your life on hold. Instead of learning that coming together is saying that we will become one and make our own story unfold. So if we can love each other until we are old. See if we can love each other until we are old. I had it all wrong the whole time because although your last name became mine, I wasn't changing fast enough for your timeline. Now I have to fight tooth and nail for my name back. Going through the constant hassle of getting myself back on track, all to get something that from birth belonged to me.
That was amazing. That was amazing. So, which leads me to my next question. Who is Rebecca Joseph?
I don't want to say titles. I want to say that I'm a lover. I'm an artist. I love people. I'm a lover of people, even though I say I hate people, but I don't. I love people. I'm a believer in Christ, the solid rock. I feel like the word that describes me is light. That's what I usually say to people when they ask me what describes me, because light takes up dark spaces. And I think that that's just what I've been put on earth to do, just to take up space and to bring light to dark spaces.
Okay. You enjoy poetry. Of course, you sing and you write. But what do you enjoy? Do you have anything else that you enjoy outside of that personally?
Travel. I love to travel. That's my favorite thing. I want to explore the world.
And what's one uncomfortable truth about mental health that people avoid hearing?
Uncomfortable truth?
Yeah, just one.
That everyone needs someone to do better. You can't live your life on your own alone with no one to kind of bounce everything off of. That you need people.
Yeah, but you're saying that you don't.
I'm saying that you do need people, that people want to live in this day and age, like everything is for themselves, everything is for individuals. But I think that community is better than being a loner or being an individual.
Gotcha. So you do need somebody.
Yeah, that everybody needs somebody.
The next question might be very uncomfortable when we talk about race, right? You being African American, I'm sure that the space that you're in, you see it firsthand and you are able to provide counseling for our community.
Correct.
When you see our community and other communities, what would you say is the biggest disparity between us two?
That white people get help and black people don't. Black people don't seek help. I don't know why, but at an alarming rate, white Americans will seek therapy, will seek tennis lessons, piano lessons, soccer. Their kids are in cheer. They have daycare. They have after-school care. Not to say that they're not stealing those things from us, right? Those opportunities from us. Aside from that, they will seek help. They will seek tutoring. They will seek after-school care for their kids to go and do all these kinds of things. And Caribbean Americans, their kids are just going home after school and doing nothing. Or if they are in football, they don't have a way home. They're walking home. They're not in therapy. They're not getting help at all.
What is one thing that you wish a client, or one question that when they walk in, or that you wish they asked but they never asked that question?
A client
that walks in for help and you realize that a lot of people come inside and there's still a question that they should ask, but they don't ask that question? Whether it's for self, whether it's for a marriage, relationship, or...
I don't think, although people come to therapy, I don't think people actually want to change. So I think the question would be, what do I need to change and how do I make that change? Sometimes people just come to talk or hear themselves talk. And I tell people I don't waste time or money. So I'm not going to let you come into the session and just talk. You're going to change. And it's funny because that's the name of my church. I just put that together, but I go to a church called Change Church online. And it's about turning the world upside down. So I would flop the whole world and just make people change.
What advice would you give to someone that is in a dark place right now, or that needs help, or broken marriage? What advice? We want to give you a chance to talk life into them. What would you tell them?
I would tell them that they're not the only one experiencing what they're going through, that they're not the first, that they will not be the last, that they need to find someone that they can trust, that can pour into them so that they can be better and change and make the next best step for their lives. Because keeping it to yourself, living with certain demons on your own is not beneficial for your mental health. And the enemy is going to use that silence to kill you and destroy you. And so I'm not saying that just as a therapist. I'm saying that as a believer in Christ, that if you are not going to seek out the help, you're going to crumble and it's going to be your demise. So get the help because you need it. Admit that you need it. But everyone needs it. Everybody needs therapy. Everybody needs someone to talk to. Everybody needs their person. And I stand in the gap for people. I am that person for people who come in and they're single, or they come in and they're in a broken marriage. I stand in the gap for those people because God gave me the capacity to hold a lot for other people. I do that on a regular basis. I hold a lot of information for people, so I stand in the gap for people. And when I'm done, I need you to have someone else to stand in the gap for you.
If someone needs to connect with you, whether to get some help or they want to get one of your books, how do they get a hold of you? So
the website is www.thronecounselingservices.com, not Thorn Counseling Services, THRONE Counseling Services. And I get that from throne, as in being like heir to the throne of God. So thronecounselingservices.com is where they can find me, see what insurance I take, or see what the private pay rate is. I am doing lower rates right now. Yesterday's price will not be today's price at some point, but just to start, because I just resigned from a private practice of 4 years and I am on my own now. So I'm giving everybody a chance to get my calendar back on track and get my office running. So I will work with you if you need it.
If someone need to get a copy of your books,
you might have to just DM me. The website, I unfortunately let the Smeared Lipstick Book website retire. And you can just DM me at RebeccaJSings _ and I'll send you a book.
Will there be a 4-volume?
You know, I write poetry all the time. I actually wrote a poem a couple of nights ago. Jeez. But I keep those to myself. I also want to write a children's book, which is interesting, but I don't want it to be on a specific topic, like how people are doing topics now. I actually want to do like a regular mundane, like storybook about like a purple monster and a kid and not something like Mom, don't touch my hair, or, autism and, all of these. I don't actually want to do a therapeutic book. I just want to do a fun loving,
nice,
like children's book.
Rebecca, we want to say thank you so much for stopping by today.
Thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed it.
And we look forward to having you again pretty soon, or after you wrote volume 4.
Right. I could put a volume 4 together now. That's how many poems I have, but I keep them to myself.
On behalf of the entire Jules Legacy staff, we want to say thank you. And at this time, we want to thank all of our continuous sponsors: AZ Formal Wear, Chick-fil-A Miami Shores, Gourmet Gathering, and Comprehensive Health Center. Most importantly, we want to thank you, the Alumni Association, the Pioneers, and also everyone who's been watching us and following us. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you.